I mean, is there a Quaker influence to you guys? Because I think I've heard this before.
Yeah, there's a Quaker influence, but we've had our beliefs as far as immigrants go back almost to the very beginning of the show.
Yeah, but I mean, here's the deal. The Quakers of today are not the Quakers of, the General Greene.
Oh, I'm very, very familiar with the socialist bend of the Quaker meeting houses. I've got it completely, and I talk to them about those issues when we have discussions. I hold their feet to the fire. I explain to them that they are against violence and the government is violence, so they can't be for the government.
But they're not convinced. They just said, let us bring the foreigners in, and we'll talk to you later, Ian, when you're in our FEMA camp.
The only thing I've ever dealt with the Quakers on is the Haitian refugees and sending some money down there for people to get some food.
Can we talk about obedience for a moment here, Alex?
Obedience to my Lord Quaker. Yes,
I think that's an important factor that needs to be touched on here, because I think that what you said earlier, I like a lot of what you said. You know, freedom. If we could have some sort of a society where there was a very small government or no government, where people are interacting voluntarily, that'd be good. You wouldn't have a problem with immigration. So really, the goal should be to get there rather than to focus on how to control immigrants and to get to a free society.
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. It's like Tony Montana said in Scarface. He said, are you a communist? You want a Schiavone in every corner telling you what to eat, what to wear, what to say, where you can go, where you can go? You know, I want my human rights, just like the President Jimmy Carter says. And my issue with all the people south of the border is, 'cause that's most of the people coming in, the illegals, thought crime again, is that they are voting for big government. That's my problem.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
The Fall of America and the Western World is an all-new 10-hour documentary and survival guide rolled into one. In this film, you will see the reasons why our government is failing and what you can do to prepare. Featuring Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, Joseph Farah, David Icke, Naomi Wolf, G. Edward Griffin, Doug McIntyre, Mark Crispin Miller, Mickey Z, Doug Casey, David McElvaney, and myself, Alex Jones. Protect yourself and get the tools you need to protect your family from these difficult times. The Fall of America and the Western World at www.thefallofamerica.net, or click on the banners at Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Again, that website's www.thefallofamerica.net, or call 800-655-1577. Prepare yourself and the ones you love today. Fallofamerica.net. Let me tell you a little bit about one of our great sponsors, HomeGain.com. This is the place to get you started buying or selling a home, finding a realtor, and getting any real estate questions answered. Go to HomeGain.com and see what I'm talking about. All you need to do is type in your home address, and you will get an instant free estimate of your home's value online. This is a great way to be able to monitor the value of your home. And again, it's absolutely free. There are tons of tools to help you. For instance, if you want to remodel your home, go to HomeGain.com. Use their Home Sale Maximizer to help you determine which home improvements can most increase your home's value before you put it on the market. For 10 years, these folks have been helping home sellers and buyers. Visit their link at Infowars.com. Look for Max, the orange Home Gain Gorilla, to help you with any real estate needs you might have. You'll love this site. It's HomeGain.com. HomeGain.com. Check them out today. Hello, this is Alex Jones with some important questions. If you're going into a battle and they give you a rifle and a sidearm, how much ammunition do you want? My answer would be all I can get. In the battle for freedom and the lives of your loved ones, food is your only ammunition. How much do you want? When do you want it? Now or after the battle starts? When will you need it? Can you buy it without proper identification? Will there be any food? Will it make your children sick? If there's a quarantine and you can't feed yourself, will you go to the gathering center and be immunized? You wipe out all these problems if you have a good food supply. Food is your ammunition to fight for your freedom and your life. How much will you need? We don't know. How much do you want? All you can get. I'm Alex Jones. I want all of you good guys to live to fight another day. Call 1-800-409-5633 or check it out on the web at efoodsdirect.com. Again, that number, 1-800-409-5633.
The preacher man says it's the end of time, and the Mississippi River, she's a gold dry. prices up and
We got Ian and Mark here, and I want everybody to sing Kumbaya, and humans are humans, and humans want freedom. The issue is the globalists, the statists, the collectivists, the main generals of the New World Order. I'm looking at their battle plan. I'm looking at the holodeck projection of the individuals and people that want private property and how the enemy's attacking us. And worldwide, it's overrun Europe's borders, overrun other borders, whatever first world nation, or if it's a poor nation, overrun it with the next door neighbor who's even more poor, to create debt to the bankers. And so I just go back to this as a realist. No country has ever survived with completely open borders. And I understand, the whole Star Trek, Star League, we're all going to be libertarians in galactic deep space flying around together. But gentlemen, how do we get there then?
How do we get where?
We open the borders now because that's the libertarian thing to do, and then maybe we'll get rid of the welfare?
Oh, I don't see how that the welfare system can continue to support an increasing burden upon it. I think the idea here that because we had a little welfare in the 60s and we have more welfare now, that we'll have lots more in the future, is saying that because I was 5 feet tall when I was 10, that I'll be 20 feet tall when I'm 40, it's not accurate. The system, the United States government is essentially bankrupt. It is on its very last wheel, squeaking along, and it can't support. Its citizens cannot bear any increase in the burden of government. So I don't know what's going to happen with the welfare system, but it isn't going to increase dramatically because.
Well, Ian, let me go back to your throwaway line, and it's a good throwaway line. No, just because you were 5 feet tall when you're 10 doesn't mean you're going to be 22 feet tall when you're 20. You might be dead when you're 20. You might die when you're 6. Because more often than not, when governments implode from too much taxes and too much regulation, instead they go into a hardcore tyranny, and Mao Zedong kills 40 to 60 to 80, depending on the statistics. The Chinese say 84 million people. Or Joe Stalin goes hog wild, or Pol Pot. And so statistically, very rarely do we have a 1776 where it goes in a good direction. It normally goes in a bad direction. So historically, when we implode here very soon and go into cardiac arrest, the maggots of big government are going to actually consume everything.
Oh, I don't think that you're going to.
By the way, that's Mark over there.
Yeah, it was me that made that statement. I don't think you're going to see that in America. There are as many guns in this country as there are people, and you're not talking about Cambodia where people are trying to scratch a living out of the dusty earth. You're talking about a relatively wealthy nation, one of the wealthiest nations the world has ever seen, and its citizens are armed and have at least a modicum of the understanding of the ideas of liberty.
Also, Alex, the idea that the country should survive, I think, is fallacious anyway. I mean, who really wants the federal government?
They can have it.
Right. I want nothing to do with the federal government. I think that as far as getting toward a smaller government / free society, secession is going to be a very important step. So if the federal government doesn't implode within the next few years, hopefully some state government people will say, we've had enough, we're done with this, we're out of here, and then maybe that'll begin an avalanche of other people seceding. I can tell you that here...
Okay, but let's talk Turkey. Generally in history, when you have secession movements funded by the British twice in our history, it ends up being a move to break the country up to then bring those smaller pieces into a larger imperial union later.
It just depends on what really all this depends on is, in my opinion, a paradigm shift, and that paradigm shift is to shift away from the idea of supporting coercive governments. I mean, to that end, here at the upcoming Porcupine Freedom Festival in 2 weeks in northern New Hampshire, there's going to be a mass signing of a Declaration of Independence, basically, from people basically saying, look, we don't want anything else to do with federal government, we don't want anything to do with the New Hampshire government, and we just want to live like free people, and that's what we're going to do. So you bring people like that together who have that mindset, that liberty mindset, you bring them together, and the state will wither away eventually, because it just simply, the idea will wither away. The concept of the state, it's an old idea, and it's a bad one.
But Karl Marx said the state would wither away.
Yeah, Karl Marx believed that the state would wither away after growing it to the point that it encompassed everything, and I think we're going in the opposite direction of that, Alex.
Yeah, we did just legalize. They just legalized knives here in New Hampshire, so things are going in the right direction, even with the very initial phases of the Free State Project going on. And that comes back to what I was saying earlier about obedience. There's a civil disobedience and non-cooperation movement going on up here that I've never seen before in the liberty movement. The liberty movement historically has always just been, okay, we're going to run some candidates once every 2 years and 4 years, get 3%, and then come back and run some more candidates. But we actually have people up here who are saying no more. I'm not going to follow
the libertarian, mainline libertarian movement, when they pick Bob Barr, who